Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning? I'm going to give you a few seconds just to kind of pop over into our living rooms. But boy, what a great service. I know some of us had some interruptions right about communion time, which seemed a little odd to me, but it's okay. You know, we're together. God is still good. God is on his throne, and technology seems to create problems sometimes. But welcome to our living room. Welcome to our chat. And what a great morning, and kind of we got a great day planned for kids and families at church. I'm still debating on what I'm going to wear today for everyone.
I think I've decided, but I'll leave that shrouded in mystery for now.
Shrouded in mystery.
And here's Jacob. Hey, Jacob.
Good morning, Jacob.
It's nice to be dry right now, isn't it?
Because it's a little overcast. I don't know what the weather quite is like outside, but it'll be a great day.
It's going to be wet for us no matter what the weather is, right?
Yeah. And Eileen had asked about bringing cereal. Yes, families, bring cereal, bring rice and beans, whatever you have. Cereal, rice and beans. What was the spaghetti sauce? But cereal is great. I just dropped off 4 boxes of Frosted Flakes on Friday. So yum, my favorite.
Great. Hey, listen. Hey, one of the fun things about the service this morning, I've really enjoyed the last couple of weeks doing some missionary updates.
Yeah.
And this morning we heard from John and Gracie Prescott, and they were kind enough to take a few minutes to join us for this as well. Now, we had some sound issues when we were trying earlier, so we're just going to bring them on and see if we can hear them this time. John and Gracie, are you there?
Yeah, we're here. Can you
hear us?
We can hear you. Oh, this is great. So I happen to know that you are not in Thousand Oaks right now.
Yeah, we are not.
That's right.
We're actually at a diner.
Oh, okay, at an undisclosed location, right?
That's right. Yeah.
We're in Morro Bay on a little self-quarantine vacation.
Yeah, there. That's
pretty
awesome.
fun.
If you're going to quarantine, go to Morro Bay, right?
Amen.
That's awesome. It's a great place.
That's right.
So, hey, why don't you just take a minute and let us know just kind of, what life has been like for you we've all had we use the phrase that we're all in the same storm, but we're all in different boats, that we have a different experience of this coronavirus. And certainly in Lebanon, and your whole story is different than the rest of us have experienced. So why don't you just fill us in a little bit on how things have been and how you're doing?
Yeah. So, back in the Middle East, we spent about 60 days on total lockdown, where we couldn't really leave our apartment except to go get groceries. And that was in March, right?
Yeah.
March and April. So back at the beginning of this whole pandemic, and then all of our language learning transitioned to Zoom calls, and basically we got to develop really good relationships with the store clerks at the supermarket.
Store.
Yeah. And right about May 6th is when our organization asked us to come home. And not because of the coronavirus directly, but because of some civil unrest in Lebanon. There's been a lot of protesting happening in Lebanon because of the failed economy and corruption in the government. And the airport was actually closed down because of coronavirus. And so the situation was looking dangerous, and there was no way for us to leave until the U.S. Embassy. They chartered a flight with Qatar Airlines for repatriating American citizens. And so now we're here, back in California, still doing our Arabic language online and enjoying our time.
Discipleship.
And doing discipleship online too.
Oh, that's great.
It's been cool. We've just been able to have some opportunities still. John's been discipling a Lebanese guy named Roni, and he's actually gotten probably more time with him after the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And we've been another local partner that we've been with. He was quarantined in our house for the first week. So it's actually made some cool opportunities for us to disciple and raise up leaders. So That's been fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and let me just add as a pastor that I'm grateful for a mission organization that would bring you back home if things aren't safe. I've seen too many situations where people overseas that we sent are not being cared for in these kinds of ways. So I'm grateful for, you're with E3, right? With E3 Partners.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm so grateful for them taking that step to bring you to a safe place. And so can you share anything in Arabic with us? A little something you've been learning? Just a couple of phrases?
You want to start there?
Like, this is the best coffee ever, or whatever.
اهلا وسهلا كيفكم؟ هذا القهوه الاطيب قهوه يلي انا بدوق.
What do you think, Jacob? Does that sound right to you?
Yeah. Wow. You gotta start teaching us to do pasta.
So that is great. And so how are things coming? You asked for prayer for getting back in a few weeks. Any updates with that? How are things coming? Or
Yeah, we've got a few different opportunities for getting back to the Middle East and back to Arab peoples. But Lebanon has not yet opened up their airport. They're saying right now that by June 21st, the airport will open up. We're also looking at Greece has opened up travel and tourism for Americans to return. And we have some mentors that are working with Arab diaspora in Greece, refugees. And they've invited us to come spend a few weeks with them waiting on the airport in Lebanon to reopen. So we just need wisdom on how best to get back to Lebanon. We don't know if they're going to require what kind of protocol they're going to have for Americans to return. Like if we're going to need to have COVID tests, or if we're going to need to have proof that we don't have COVID somehow. So we're not sure exactly what the requirements are going to be like when the airport does eventually open up. We're just looking at, we're trying to get back by July. So God willing, the next month or 2 months, we'll be back on that side.
okay.
To continue our ministry there.
Yeah, Lebanon is just not super reliable as far as like, you kind of just don't know until you go what the protocol will be or what if they'll let you in or if they'll not. They're pretty sporadic, but but we're hoping to get there in the first week of July.
Well, hey,
at least over to that side of the world.
I just want you two to know that we are with you. We pray for you often. I mean, especially Gracie, you are from us. And we're so excited for the ministry that you two share and for being willing to go. So we'll let you get back to your coronation or whatever you call it, quarantine vacation. I don't know. But thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us. And please know that this church family loves you so much. And we're always praying for you and happy to partner with you any way that we can. So
thank you guys.
Yeah,
God bless you.
So much. So
enjoy the rest of your day.
Love you guys.
Okay.
All right. So a lot to talk about, but we can't take too much time today because we've got to get over for Water Wars.
I know. I can't wait. Alana, I bet you Alana's super excited.
Yes, she is. And like, she said, I get to shoot you. I get to shoot you.
Yeah. You will be her favorite target, I'm sure. And it looks like we've had some, Theresa is bringing grape nuts to counteract your frosted flakes.
I know, I used to love grape nuts, so I love that.
And Susan Harris has joined in for the conversation. So good morning, Susan. Hey, I wanted to say something, just a little bit about the message this morning. I mean, the last days, the end times. It's not something that we talk about a ton, but wow, this week just felt like strategic week to be talking about it, right? If there was ever a week where we've been longing for the Lord's return to make things right, where there's unity and where justice rolls down like a mighty river. I mean, it is this week, right? And I was just struck because, I mean, I think all of us, we were grieved, first of all, as we watched the what happened to George Floyd, and as we watched, and through video, how we all just kind of watched him die. I mean, it was we all grieved by that, but now we're also grieving as we watch some of the protests moving from peaceful protest into more violent protest. But I was struck by this passage that sometimes we think of the Lord's return as almost, it gives us this idea of escapism. It's almost like it can give us an excuse to disengage. We see when things start going, in a bad way, when things start getting hard and difficult, it's almost like we can just say, well, one day the Lord's coming back. This earth isn't my home anyway. But this particular passage, when he talks about don't worry about the times in the season, but instead he calls us back to faith and to love and to hope. And he calls us, this really, it's not a conversation that makes us step away from what's going on in society, but it really calls us in many ways to lean more into it, to continue to live with works of faith and labors of love and the steadfastness of hope. So anyway, as we process what's going on, and as we grieve, again, what a passage, right? We grieve, but not as those who have no hope. I mean, we do have the hope that one day things will be made right and things will be made just. And so we long for those days. But in the meantime, while we're watching and waiting, we walk with God, and we live with faith.
And lament is good right now. Lament and grief and sorrow, even the anger over those are good emotions for us to have right now. But processing that through that lens of love, hope, and faith is where we need to make sure that we're staying grounded in that, I believe.
Well, and how we live, right, reflects all that. And I think, during this time, we need to be, like you said, leaning into loving others and to be caring for our people, our sheep, but also just, other people in general, like people, non-Christians, that they see. I was looking on Facebook, and I think I saw someone posting, negative things about Christians, like, about all the stuff that's going on. And it's like, we should be the good examples to that. We should be, people looking at Christians and going, oh my gosh, they're the first ones addressing issues. There's the first ones. They're not ignoring them. They're addressing them. They're loving on people through this. I think that's kind of, during these end times, that's what we're called to do too. Right.
Yes. And I love that. And I'll come back to this within our church. I love that we are pursuing being more intercultural.
Absolutely.
And as we talk about integration, even with Nueva Vida, and we see a lot of different ethnicities in our
yes, we do.
And I think it's important that, that's an important piece of the body of Christ.
Yeah.
That we can come and worship together, and that we are united in Jesus. We understand we have our distinctions, and we don't necessarily need to lay those down. But at the same time, there's something greater that unites us, and I think, and this comes back to the sermon this morning, that it's the risen Christ that unites us, but it's also a living hope, a future hope that the gospel brings that unites us, and we know that one day we will be. And again, that Revelation, was it Revelation 7, where it talks about every nation and tribe and tongue will be there together in unity, around the throne. That's an awesome picture. It's kind of like you can turn on the news now and see the opposite of that. and I hope somewhere it brings within us a longing for that day when we are all there together worshiping, and leads us to, work towards justice and peace during these times. So, wow, heavy stuff to deal with this morning and this week. But I thought this is one of the beauties of just teaching sequentially through a book of the Bible, that, you don't really choose the topics. You go through and you preach what is there, and we center our minds around what's there. And sometimes it is just exactly what we need in the moment. So hey, we've got a couple of other things. Any details for Water Wars?
Oh, Water Wars. Okay, we're starting at 1:30. You do not need to be there right at 1:30 because not everyone can, we are doing this as a drive-through. So it's not like you have to be there at 1:30, all my family's out there. But it would be almost like Manifest. We'd have a huge line. But we're going to start at 1:30 and go for about an hour, a little over an hour. We'll have our packet pickup. Everyone will get to meet Susan this morning because Susan is joining our team, which is exciting. She's going to be handing out the packets. And we have water balloons. We have water guns available. And, we're just going to have target practice on the likes of Jacob and Mark and Umberto and Rachel and probably me, unless I can avoid it. No, I'm kidding. Totally me. I'm still trying to figure out. I think I might wear my shark pajamas I might wear those.
Are we still going to free Austin for this event?
Yes. Yes. Austin will be there. He's all excited. So maybe we'll figure out something fun for Austin to do.
Okay, now, where do families come in? Is it the front entrance or off of Teller?
I think it would be better if everyone came in off of Teller.
Okay.
Because then we can drive by that way. I've been sitting there racking my brain. So we'll take a sandwich board down there. If you turn left, if you're on Rancho Caneo, turn left on Teller and then turn right up into the back parking lot. And then we'll start, when you make that right turn, in front of the church, that will be where somewhere in there, we'll have the Water War starting. It'll be really fun. I think, yes, bring your own water gun too. I know Austin will not be wearing the Easter Bunny costume, but that's a good, we'll figure out something fun for Austin to wear. The other thing is we'll have a treat. I was thinking about doing popsicles, but I think popsicles are just going to be a little rough for families in their cars. So we'll do something else.
Maybe Teresa could bring those grape nuts.
Yes. Oh man. No. And all the kids will break their teeth along the way. Yes, Mon, if you want to bring your hose and spray, who knows? You may get a car wash out of it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, everybody. And we're going to keep this as safe as we possibly can. Now, parents, we realize that you don't want water in your car. So we can have your kids walking alongside of your car. And I believe we can do that really safely. And then also we'll disinfect our toys that we have there we have our hydrogen peroxide spray that disinfects everything. But there's plenty of water balloons as well. So it's just going to be a great time of fun. I'm sure there's going to be a couple of kinks along the way because we've never done this before. Like who would do?
But you know what?
Water fight.
We will be together.
It'll be together and we'll have fun.
So we're hungry.
We'll
Speaking of that, remember the town hall coming up Thursday?
Oh, yes.
And just to let you know, I mean, we've talked as a pastoral staff, and we kind of have a plan that we're working through. I'm meeting with the elders. Alex will be meeting with us. Alex and I will be meeting with the elders later on today. And then we have our all staff meeting on Tuesday. And one of the reasons we're holding back on the information is that I think it might change between what we talked about last Tuesday until Thursday. But we're looking forward to coming as being just a united leadership team that are in agreement and moving forward together with a plan to safely come together and worship the Lord as a body. So Thursday is, we thought, the soonest we could have everyone on the same page, ready to share that. So that will work. And we're excited about people joining for that. And also we're still working on a grad idea. It looks like probably the Saturday the 13th, but possibly Sunday the 14th. And again, this is going to be not just an event for the grads. This is going to be an event where the church comes out to honor the grads. And so bring your cards and those kinds of things. We'll have much more information next week, but that's coming. And yes, Teresa, thanks for commenting on that as well. The life group leaders are getting together tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Well, getting together virtually for a Zoom meeting tomorrow night at 8 p.m. as well, which is another good plug. If you know people that are not in a life group, one of the reasons the life group leaders are meeting is to see how we can get people connected.
Bobby, are you asking a question on water balloons? No, we have, I believe, a few hundred water balloons. You don't need to bring your own water balloons. They're already blown up. Daniel was working on that last night. So
Did you see Eileen's question as well? About
the dry area to watch. You
In
know
your
what, Eileen, you could come and sit with Susan and help with packet, which would be great. And yes, that will be dry. Susan would love some help.
And amen to join a life group from Theresa.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you're not in a life group, you've had a completely different lockdown experience than the rest of us. By the way, let me close with this. Tomorrow's 10 at 10 will be fun.
I'm excited about that.
My friend is Brian Schulenberg, and we go way back. When Jill and I first got married, we had newlywed apartments right next to each other. And so we've known each other and our ministry paths just have crisscrossed through the years. But I think he's kind of landed in Minneapolis and isn't leaving, and I'm in Southern California and not leaving. So I don't know if we're going to crisscross anymore. But I do know that Brian he's been a lead pastor in Minneapolis. Now he's a staff pastor at one of the mega churches up there. And he has been networking with a lot of the African-American pastors. He really, I think, has a good pulse on how we can be praying for Minneapolis. And so he'll be joining us tomorrow. And so I hope you can join us for that. Hey, as we close, did you do anything fun this weekend? I hiked up to Angel Vista. I'd never done that before. That's pretty awesome. I was looking down on everyone yesterday.
Fun? No, I got my house got painted. Hilberto's been at the house all week. So
Well, tell him to hurry up. We need him back at church. That looks great, Dee.
I know, slowly but surely, it's almost getting done.
And Jacob, you celebrated an anniversary earlier this week.
I did, and we went up to social distance in Slow, so that was really awesome.
Hey, Jacob,
and
you don't have to social distance on your anniversary.
Well, me and Janessa didn't social distance.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's good.
But no, it was a really good time, and we've been having a good week. And yesterday we went over to Fillmore a little bit, just to see my parents, and so it's a good time. We're
okay.
You pulled out huge asparagus bushes, Theresa?
That doesn't sound like fun to me.
That doesn't sound like fun.
But speaking of fun, though, we're having our first in-person staff meeting this Tuesday in a long time. So that's another way of saying that the offices are going to be open this week. We didn't mention that in the service, but that's a big step for us. That the offices will be completely open this week. Now there are all kinds of protocols. Bring your face mask if you come to visit. We'll have some extras there in case you don't. But again, we're opening the office safely as a step towards coming back together, worshiping safely. Hey, all right. I think we need to sign off so that we can go get ready for Water Wars. It's going to be pretty awesome, and we'll look forward to seeing the two of you there and whoever else wants to come by. We're going to have a great time.
Come by, join us. You can park and we can social distance. We can stay away, wave to the kids as they go through. Let's celebrate as a family.
Yeah. And let's, even in these days, let's live with hope.
Hope.
Let's live with hope. I love what Rob Redicop shared down from the strawberry fields on our 10 at 10 yesterday. Lift up our eyes to the hills. The hills are hard things.
Yeah.
And you ask, where does my help come from? When we look at these huge hills, where our help comes from the Lord. And so let's keep hoping and watching and waiting. All right. Hey, God bless. We'll see you in just a couple of hours at Water Wars. Goodbye, everybody.